Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren DeGraw. I am the Director of Sales at Nativo, as this slide behind me says. Such a pleasure to be here. I think for me, this is actually my first IRL Brand Innovators event in quite so many years. So it's very fun to see all these faces here today. So thanks for having us. My special guest sitting next to me here is Dewar, as mentioned. He is the Senior Director of Customer Strategy for Anthropologie, leading global customer strategy, loyalty, and insights for its portfolio of apparel and home goods brands. He also happens to be a very avid outdoorsman, cyclist, skier, et cetera. So hopefully we can chat about that a little bit today. But thanks so much for coming over today, Ian.
No, thanks for inviting me. And like you, this is my first Brand Innovators event in real life for a while. I think about a year ago, we were supposed to do one in New York City right at NRF, and it went from an event like this to an event like this with masks, to an event like this with no audience, to an event like this digitally, to me in my hotel room, very small New York City hotel room, trying to position my computer so it didn't look like you were looking at a construction site out my window. So happy to be here with a lot of windows and some natural light.
These nice views over here. Exactly. You are definitely a familiar face to Brand Innovators. How many of these events do you have under your belt right now?
I feel like I've done 5 or 6 of these. I used to live in San Francisco, or I used to live in Alameda, California, across the bay from San Francisco, and we did events there. The Brand Innovators had a recurring series there, which was always exciting. It gave me an excuse to take the ferry, ride my bike, lock it up to a street pole, and hope it was there at the end of the event. So this I did drive downtown and take a ferry to this one, but
a little different this year around. Exactly. Awesome. Well, to kick it off, so as I mentioned, you are an avid outdoorsman. I believe you're a 10-time, maybe 12-time Ironman competitor. Okay, so Ian previously was at VF Corporation for over a decade. So he led analytics and data science for brands we all know and love, like the North Face and Timberland and Vans. So I'm just kind of curious, what prompted this very sort of adventure-seeking person like yourself to make a huge shift from working on, outdoor rugged brands to a retailer like Anthropologie?
I think it was definitely COVID that sort of started this process for me. And we all went home. I had a flight booked to a Vans event and a flight booked to Timberland when VF said, okay, stop. You're not traveling. It was literally like 2 days beforehand, and we're going to take a 2-week break, and then another 2-week break, and then a 2-year break. And I kind of found myself, like all of us, working from home, setting up a home office, also running a 3rd grade classroom in that same home office while my wife ran a kindergarten classroom in the basement. And what was really interesting for me is I found that as we kind of figured out how to navigate this, I was at home, and I was at home, not by myself, but I was at home with 3 other human beings, a cat and a dog and a turtle. And I was doing less hiking, and I was doing less biking. I was doing less, I thought, oh, this is gonna be great. I work from home. I can go out and ride anytime I want. But all of a sudden, like, my professional life and my personal life became like increasingly blurry. And for me, I was like, these are things that are important for me. And part of the reason I took these jobs was because it afforded me the opportunity to do more with the customers. And I realized, right, there was just too much intersection between personal life and professional life. And I wasn't really crafting a professional sort of persona that was any different. And in fact, I didn't have that separation. And so Anthropologie approached me, and it went really quick because I really found like what they were looking for aligned with the type of work I wanted to do. And I thought, hey, here's a great opportunity for me to, it's a $2 billion company with 5 million customers that they identify every year, and a really passionate customer base. And here's a way for me to really learn quickly about kind of how to energize something I don't know that much about. And they didn't approach me because I was great at designing dresses, or because I had experience laying out living rooms, or was like a food decoration expert. They approached me because I had great experience dealing with consumer data. And so I was really energized by that. And they also didn't ask me to come in and fix anything. They didn't say, we need you to fix our data structure. We need you to build our systems. We need a data architect. We need a program manager. What they said is, we have all of this data, and we don't think we're doing enough with it. And can you help us bring all these disparate data sources? They're in one place, but actually figure out what we do with it and what it means. And so that opportunity to really join consumer insights, really qualitative research, and talking to people, real people, and quantitative research, which was really my background, was super exciting to me. And so I thought, hey, here's somewhere where I could learn. I could get back to a brand where there's, I mean, the work I do has a direct line to what we sell and what our customers buy and their satisfaction, and also our P&L, right? You know, it's a business that is designed to ultimately grow by selling more product, and that's what most of us are in the business of. And so I was really excited about that, and I also thought, like, personally, that gave me a little bit more separation. I didn't have that blurry line between, like, oh, you know, I'm hiking, but I'm hiking for work, but I'm hiking for fun. And so to me, is a really great extension. And it's also a brand that I like have a strong affinity. I don't use most of the products, but I've always had a strong affinity for. So I was super excited about it. And actually now I go to Philadelphia once a month. So I like, people are like, where do you live? I go, well, I live in Colorado, but I work in Philadelphia, and I used to live in California. And it's actually been a really nice balance between being able to work from home and having set hours, and then being able to go into an office on a regular, but not everyday basis.
That's what Mark was talking about at the start of today, how fun it is to sort of have all these marketers in these, other cities, but still being able to go visit the hub. So also, real talk, how excited was your wife when you started this role, getting that discount?
Stoked.
Oh yeah.
Stoked. She was like, and we buy stuff that we already have. And I mean, I get it, but like, then we have so many Christmas ornaments, and we have new little trees, and we have these, like, we have dish towels that match every holiday, and great. I'm all for it.
We love to see it.
Great.
We love to see it. And I guess with that, what have been maybe some of the biggest surprises since you started at Anthropologie?
You know, I think I anticipated kind of how loyal the customer base was, but once we started to talk to them and actually kind of dig into the repeat shopping behavior, we have like a hyper engaged customer base, and they love to tell us what they think about Anthropologie. I mean, there's no shortage of opportunities to get people into our focus groups, to get them to answer our surveys. I mean, I'd say our biggest challenge with our qualitative research is literally reading all the comments. So many comments, and that's been sort of a great upside for me. I think the other thing is there's a level of kind of understanding of the breadth of the product that I didn't appreciate when I started there, and I'm really learning that our customers don't even know about. So that, to me, we've opened up this opportunity where 2/3 of our customers don't know we make wallpaper.
Nice to me.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, that's been, the sort of ease of getting feedback when we ask for it, and the access to customer data has been a pleasant surprise. I mean, I know they said I didn't have to go in and fix the data, but I kind of thought they were like exaggerating, but it's true. And so that has been, and the fact that we have this sort of passionate customer base certainly makes the prospect of reaching out to them more often a lot easier.
Makes a lot of sense. You started your role back in February, I believe, right?
February, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So understandably, a pretty interesting time to start, right? We're still sort of experiencing a lot of the, proliferation of at-home shopping from COVID. There's sort of, rising inflation ahead of us. So I'm just kind of curious, how are you currently thinking about that in terms of building that customer and brand loyalty when you're sort of working against some of those headwinds?
Our customers love our stores. And coming out of COVID, so you're right. I started I think the last week of February, and all the people I met in the first 2 weeks were wearing masks, right? And then I went back for my second visit to the office 3 weeks later, and you were allowed to take your mask off in certain buildings, in certain rooms, and I didn't recognize anyone. I was like, "Come on, can you put your mask? Can you hold your hand over your face?" So I know exactly. And so, but coming out of COVID, our customers, they really like shopping in our stores. And one of the things that has made that I found Anthropologie to be somewhat unique, especially coming from the background I had, is that we don't operate under a rigid seasonal drop schedule. We don't reset the store 4 times a year. We don't have spring and then summer and then back to school and then fall and then winter. We do, but we reset product as it arrives. And so there's always something new in the store, and that's what our customers expect from us. And so as the stores, yes, they were open. I mean, we were only closed for about 2.5 months. But as sort of the country came out of Omicron in February last year, and people started coming back to retail stores, our customers came back without necessarily a clear intent of what they wanted to buy. They just wanted to see what's new. And we're doing our best to really take advantage of that. And the fact that we turn over inventory so quickly has been a real benefit for us coming out of COVID. And I think the other piece is that the intersection of digital experience with retail is only going to continue to grow. We have really great utilization of our app, and customers come in the store with like literally the app open and asking for products. And we're trying to continue. If I think about kind of our path to personalization, we're putting more effort into personalization on app right now than we are even on desktop, because that's such a cross-shopping opportunity for our customers. So, I think that, if I say the future of brick and mortar is strong, for us, it's super strong. And actually, we're really thinking about what role the stores play coming into next year for kind of reinforcing that discovery.
Well, definitely amazing to hear that people are really coming back into stores. I know I certainly am one of those. Anthropologie's a regular appear on my credit card statement, but I guess in sort of the same vein of some of those challenges that you faced in your role, we're mentioned this in the last session as well. Kellogg's was talking about it, but of course, sort of the supply chain issues that continue to sort of loom over us. So from a marketing perspective, are you really continuing to lean in and double down on that brand marketing, or how does that sort of fit into the equation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the issue around sort of brand calendar and product is you have to be a lot more nimble than you were 2 years ago or 3 years ago pre-COVID. And because we know that we're going to turn product on a more regular basis, we try to build these campaigns. We're not shooting more than about 3 months in advance, to be honest. So we're not building campaigns 6, 9, 12 months. We don't depend on weather as much as, like, when I worked at the North Face, we were very dependent on weather. And if we needed to shoot something in July for like a backup for fall or winter, we had to chase snow, right? You had to fly up to Whistler, or you had to fly to New Zealand, or you had to go to Chile or something. I know. So, we're not as weather dependent, but for us, the sort of as we know what's coming, we're able to modify and very quickly sort of pivot. We also create very overarching themes in our campaigns, and that's been a shift from Anthropologie before I got there. But our spring campaign was a dress for every ... and it could be a dress for every wedding, a dress for every occasion, a dress for every graduation, and we could use that, and we could pivot in the products as we needed to, and that allows us to be more nimble with product as they arrive. I think that piece that we're struggling with actually is reorders, and as the customer tells us what they prefer by buying it, and we want to go back out and bring a same silhouette in with a new style or a new print or a new fabric, the challenge is getting that as quickly as possible. And so taking advantage of opportunities that because we turn inventory, we have some clear winners. And when we have these winners, we want to get them back as quickly as possible.
You're obviously facing that in your household currently with your dish towel collection. So obviously today's theme, on the marquee is marketing innovation. So I'm just curious, how do you think brands should really be approaching these innovations? Maybe AR is kind of a hot button, a good example of that. I think from a measurement standpoint, we know that they're all really sort of cool and exciting, but again, how do we really know that they're going to work?
AR is a really great example of something that looks cool. I don't know anyone in here selling AR, but and has some clear like functional uses. And I think for us, again, like virtual try-on rooms, maybe not, but put a sofa in the corner of your house, awesome, right? Like put in the size, measure your room, see what it looks like with a different sofa in there. Like that's super interesting and cool. But what we're finding is that actually customers want to touch and feel the product more. And so, I think about like innovations that we're driving for, it's actually to get product to customers quicker, so they can try it on wherever they want. And that might be at a store that doesn't carry that line. That might be in your living room. And thinking about, could we create something that is a try-on box, and not like a Stitch Fix that shows up, you don't know what you're wearing, you don't know what you're going to get till you open it, but a try-on box where you don't pay till you decide what to keep. So you're not carrying $1,000 on your credit card because you ordered 4 dresses. You get 4 dresses and you pay for the one you want. Or we send it to a store and we have a stylist meet you there. And how do we start to increase that in real life opportunity? And so the technology that is more exciting is how do we connect? And it's say more exciting to us. It sounds more boring, but it's how do you connect the inventory to the delivery, to the stylist, to the customer, and really driving for true sort of personalization, but personalization that comes down to goes from today we're all doing segmentation. Everyone in this room is doing some level of segmentation, but segmentation to personalization to real individualization so that we're truly talking to customers about what they tell us they care about and giving them that real life opportunity. I mean, I will say one of the things that I use the AR example for furniture, but the biggest thing that's holding our furniture business back right now is lack of showrooms. Furniture business has always been part of Anthropologie stores. We don't have Anthro Living stores separate. We have large format stores that have both, but in most of our stores, furniture is a virtual opportunity. We might have one chair, one table. We actually just sell all the display tables too. I didn't even know that till I started there. But they're all found objects that cost like $12,000 for a wood table that's like 18 feet long. But the best feedback we got about what's holding our furniture customers back is they want to sit in the chair before they buy it. And I know that sounds like real old school. I just want to sit on the chair. But that's been our biggest holdback. So all of this technology is not going to change the fact that you're not going to necessarily buy a cushion that you can't put your butt into before you take it home to your house. And I think that makes sense. And so we're starting to think about how do we, again, use reservation, use personalization, use, pick at home, try, and you can't try on a chair, but how do we use that to get more of a try-on experience and have our customers touch the fabric, sit in the chair, match the outfit.
So it's safe to assume you're not pushing your marketing team to start scooping up retail space in the metaverse right now.
We're not scooping up retail space in the metaverse. Yeah. And I like that. And I mean, I think the idea of like a virtual experience, but where we're seeing probably the biggest growth in terms of new advertising technology is not avatars in Meta on virtual reality. It's a short form video on TikTok. It's I love the fact that you can tell a story in 15 seconds, and that is where and our customer demographics lean far more towards Instagram than TikTok. But the fact that we can kind of tell a compelling story about an experience and the customer can see it in 15 seconds and make a decision is awesome, right? We're not producing 60-second, 120-second, 3.5-minute videos as much anymore. We're producing these like short experiences of getting to a party, walking out of a restaurant, getting married, walking out, little things, like little imagination pieces, and it allows us to do more creative and then distribute it to the right people.
So you've obviously been a retail marketer for a very long time, and specific in the apparel industry, but how do you sort of strike that balance between, really planning for the future, investing in all these in sort of innovations that we're talking about, but also being wary of, how quickly things are changing?
I mean, I think again, coming back to the idea of like personalization and how do we, yes, we want to anticipate our customers' needs, but we also want to be able to guide them into a path of discovery. So for us, it's, one of the things I heard the most when I started Anthropologie, and I will be honest, there was no shortage of advice, again, from like my family and my family's friends and my neighbors about what Anthropologie could be doing better. And a lot of it centered around, you have too many cardigans, you have too many sweaters, you have too many V-necks. I can't find the difference between the gray with the stripe and the gray. And that's a technology problem. It's not a product problem. And it's a preference, and so for me, if I think about how do we anticipate trends, it's how do we actually help our customers have they tell us a little bit and we show them, and we continue to refine what we show that customer based on what they're looking for, and not just based on what they bought. And that's the shift that I'm really leaning into now is how do we think about predicting future interest, not just future style. And that's not my department at all. And there's, we have a team of stylists and a team of designers and a team of buyers that are trying to anticipate what you're going to want to wear 18 months from now. But what I'm really focusing on is what do you want to wear 2 to 3 months from now, so that we can show you what's most relevant and interesting for you. You might not even know we make. And so traditionally, we all did segmentation. You bought 2 pairs of jeans. We're definitely going to show you jeans because you bought 2 of them. We can definitely get a 3rd pair of jeans out of you. But jeans might not be what you want next. And so looking for those sort of, I say, nuggets of data, whether that is browse behavior, what emails you opened, what posts you engaged in, and additionally, behavioral data sort of outside of our website, our digital platform, helps us really build this customer profile and better understand kind of how do we say anticipate your needs, anticipate your style, and chart this and help to sort of nudge this path of discovery, because that's what Anthropologie really has that the stores I've worked at before don't. We have this curious, engaged customer base that come to the store just to see what's new. And they open the app when they're waiting to get on a plane. They browse our website when the Zoom meeting they're on is boring. And so what we find is that it's not a deliberate shopping experience. When I worked at VF, even a brand like Vans, the customers come with intent. When I worked for bicycle companies before, and customers come to a bike store with intent. They want to buy a bike. They want some new bike shorts. They may need a helmet. They don't always buy what they came in looking for, but there's less of that like, let's see what's new at the bike shop. There's not really that much new at the bike shop. There's bikes. It looks the same as last year, different color, slightly lighter, a little more carbon fiber. And same thing at North Face. You come to the North Face because you think you want a jacket or a pair of running shorts or a hiking boot or a backpack or a raincoat. And you may buy something different because you see it there, but you're way less apt to just sort of spontaneously think, I'm gonna pop in and see what's new. And so because we have this discovery oriented customer, we want to guide that discovery and especially help our customers learn about things that we make and sell that they didn't even know we had.
And you talked about this a little bit earlier, and I think this is kind of a nice segue, right? All of this is very much anchored around data, right? So we're talking about sort of that harmony between qualitative and quantitative data. But when you're thinking more in terms of driving that brand loyalty, I know that's an initiative that you of course own. Like, is there one that you're sort of leaning on a little bit more? And can you maybe talk about that?
I think they really need to work in tandem. And it's the insights that you learn from qualitative research that really should guide the data that you're tracking quantitatively. And we all track KPIs, right? We know how many people visited. We know how many people walked in the store. We know what our conversion rate is. We know what our AOV is. We can break AOV out by like AUR and quantity. We can look at frequency of purchase. All of those we're tracking all of those anyways. But when we really think about how do we anticipate our customers' next need, the qualitative start and talking to our customers and observing our customers is really the most important place to start. And I heard earlier today someone mentioned like they went for an interview and they bought a pair of the company's products before they went in for the interview. And we all do that, right? I mean, I didn't wear an Anthropologie shirt to my interview, but I did wear a funky scarf. So, but the idea is of shopping, but seeing that shopping experience and talking to the customers is such a great starting point, because what we think their motivation is not necessarily what their motivation really is. And understanding and I know when researchers do shop alongs, it feels really weird. It feels like you're in a reality show with someone like a little video camera walking behind you. And I'm not necessarily suggesting everyone go to a retail store and creep around the corner, but when you do shop, and I find this sometimes, the idea of buying a company's product for the interview, and then that's maybe the last time you go in the store for 6 months. like we need to go to our stores more often. And so one of the things that, especially on the analytics side, one of the things that I do with my data analytics team is we do a quarterly field trip, and it's not really a field trip. I mean, I'll get into minivan, or we take the train to New York City, but we just go shopping, and it's not just a customer observation. It's where are our stores? What are our competitors? What's the shopping behavior in their stores? What are the promotions? What is their loyalty sign up process? And really start to try to experience the store as a shopper, and not as an employee making an employee purchase. Then you got to talk to the manager, you get 40% off, because it's a different experience. And so to me, that starting point of qualitative and trying to understand your customer's motivation guides all the rest of that quantitative work.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense. Yeah. Ian, I could talk to you all day, honestly, but I do want to make sure we have time to open it up to some questions for the audience. And we've got a few minutes left. So time flies when you're having fun, Ian.
We're already out of time.
Exactly. But would love to see if anyone has any questions.
Hi, I'm Mary. I work for Gymshark. You mentioned just having, like, a couple times, having such an amazing, engaged and loyal audience. What do you think is like the number one, maybe 2 to 3 contributor to that? Like, what has been kind of the defining success factor in building that loyal audience?
Uniqueness of product. You know, our customers tell us that every time they come to the store, they see something new, and it fits their style, but that their style is not necessarily the same as the next customer's style. You know, when we do our brand health tracker, one of the sort of key questions we ask are points of parity and differentiation with key competitors: Nordstrom, Banana Republic, J. Crew, Aritzia, and what we find is unique styles and fits my style are really the two things that customers gravitate to, that separates Anthropologie from our competitive set. Those other brands make great quality, and our quality is really a parity for us. Now it's high, so that's like a requirement for entry. And fashion forward, that's a requirement for entry. Ease of checkout, those type of things. But for us, what our customers really look for is that unique style. And that's really what's made our home division successful, is that our customers who started in apparel are moving to home, whether it's for decor, pillows, towels, dish towels, throw blankets, or sofas, lamps, etc. They don't all look the same as sort of this mid-century modern piece that is sort of the prevalent premium furniture style today. And that uniqueness of style is what brings our customers back.
Harvey, Christie Sports. You mentioned earlier you have 5 million customer records that you know on your 2 billion sales. I wonder if you could share with us if you know what percentage of your transactions are associated with that first party data. I'm sure it's not what you want it to be. So how do you think about getting more first party data associated with your transactions?
It's surprisingly high, actually. So half our business is direct to consumer e-commerce, so we know 100% of who those people are. The other half is physical retail, and we identify about 70% of our customers at retail. And that's from kind of 3 sources. One is loyalty, our loyalty program, Anthroperks. Our second is from email receipts, as customers say, choose to make an email receipt. And the third is through credit card or e-com account matching. And so we're trying, we tell our customers we do that. But yeah, we're able to identify a little more than 70% of our retail shoppers. Our big initiative for coming into next year is Perks, is to make our loyalty program sort of more engaging and get not only more sign up, but actually more engagement with those customers from online to retail. The real benefits of Perks are at retail. And so we want to really rethink what that benefit could be for the online shopper, so that it's easier when the customer goes in. But our customers are very willing to identify themselves. And we're very clear as much as possible that the more sort of you tell us about yourself, the more we will personalize your experience. And we really intend to double down on that next year.